Mic check, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2. Here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your MC today. I am Dr. Tom Clark, retired Command Sergeant Major, Don's brother from another mother. Welcome everyone to the Oath of Office ceremony for Commissioner-elect Don Clark, District 5. I'm your MC today. So many of his friends are here. So many people he served with. Sergeant Major Linda Gary, Sergeant Major Prince Watson, my friends. Please stand for the invocation given by Reverend Dr. Clarence Moore and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Riley Green, a cousin of Commissioner-elect Clark. Reverend.
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we have come today to say thank you for all of the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, your servants. And Father, we pray for those who hold office in our government, that they may do their work in a spirit of wisdom, kindness, and justice. We ask especially that you use Don Clark to serve faithfully and that he promote the good and general welfare of all of the people of Augusta, Richmond County. Father, we place Augusta, Richmond County in your merciful care, that we may live securely in peace. Help Don Clark, as well as all of the other elected officials, to remember that they are called to serve the people as lovers of truth and justice. Let all of them know that they are public servants, but more than that, those who are saved, let them remember that they are your servants, serving your people. Let them serve with a sense of compassion, wisdom, and humility. May they be led by your wisdom. May they search your will and see it clearly. Then, Father, help us as citizens of Augusta, Richmond County to respect those in whom you have placed in leadership as they lead with character and integrity. In the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ, we do pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Patriot Guard Riders. They have the honor and privilege to ride and stand at funerals to honor the families of our fallen military veterans and first responders. There is one and only one prerequisite to be in this group: a deep respect for those who serve our country, military and first responders. Ms. Riley Green.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please be seated. Thank you, Pastor Moore. Thank you, Cousin Riley. Cousin Riley, like we're in the country, we would say she's cuter than a speckled pup under a red wagon. If you are an elected official in attendance today, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. If you are a member of the Team Clark or the Clark family, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Don called me a couple days ago and asked me to MC this event. And I said, for you, my friend, absolutely. I'm honored and humbled to be here. I love the city of Augusta. I love the mayor, first lady. It's an honor and privilege. Most of you know that Don and I, we grew up on different sides of the track, but we rode the same train. We rode the same train as friends and as brothers. And I can personally attest to Don's courage and ability to perform under the most unpleasant conditions in combat. Extreme heat, explosions, noise, sand, the enemy. Don deployed and defended freedom in the American way of life. We share the same scar tissue from service members that we deployed with who never came back. He has a servant's heart, and I asked him, I said, after all this hardship, why? Why did you venture into politics? And he said it was just another way for him to serve. I said, okay, that's good. You take a lot of pot shots out there. Then I asked him why he never used the suplex move that we learned in combatants while he was on the train. Because he's wicked smart and strong as an ox. I remember seeing him on TV with Brad Means, ask him why he chose to run. And he said he felt that there were people who were unheard. And he wanted to be their voice. He's the right voice at the right time. Thank you, Tasha and Don, for continuing to serve. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Augusta's 85th mayor to provide welcome comments. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Garnett Johnson!
Thank you so much, Dr. Tom Clark. Thank you so much, Mr. Don Clark. What a tremendous day we have today on this beautiful, cool day. As Dr. Clark mentioned, I have the honor of being the 85th mayor for this great city. And as I understand, we have a lot of guests, so I'm going to give my out-of-town guest speech. Augusta is Georgia's second oldest city, founded on the banks of the Savannah River in 1736 by General James Oglethorpe. As you know, being on the river gives you an opportunity to do a lot of things, and always characterize Augusta as the 4 M's. Not only are we the home of the great James Brown, and hopefully while you're in town, you'll go take a picture with that statue. But the 4 M's, meaning the Masters. As you know, every April we have the world's best sporting event, and we highly encourage you to come visit us during that week. Also known as manufacturing, we make a lot of things. The world's #1 manufacturer of golf carts, Club Car and E-Z-GO, as well as the world's #1 production of clean energy as the region's Plant Vogel. Then the 3rd M is medicine. For more than 200 years, we've been educating doctors at the Medical College of Georgia, educating nurses, clinicians, physical therapists, all sorts of researchers. And then there's that 4th M. The military, the home to the U.S. Cyber Center of Excellence and the home of the Signal Corps. And that's the reason we're here today, because Don Clark came to Augusta. Having served all over the world, even in combat, somehow his path led back to Augusta. Even as a service member, he gave to this community. Not only was he given to our military, but he got involved early and often. He went away for a bit, but now he's back. And I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm proud to be here with him to celebrate today. So on behalf of this great city, the 10 colleagues that I serve with on the Augusta-Richmond County Commission, we warmly welcome you. And we hope that Clark family, as I understand you guys are going to be here through Christmas, we pray and hope that y'all spend a lot of money while y'all are here. You can certainly use it. We appreciate it, and it's certainly an honor. Have a Merry Christmas. Glad to be a part of this program. Thank you so much.
Next, we'd like to bring up Mr. Corey Johnson, the former Augusta Commissioner and Don's campaign chair.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dawn, for adding me. I actually witnessed, well, let me just say, I had 2 deaths in the family last week, and I'm just leaving the service. So y'all just bear with me because it was very close people to me. But I told Dawn I was going to be here, and I made it my business to be here. I would like to start out by saying, thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just allowing me to be here and allowing us to be here together and celebrate this moment. Life is precious. Check on your people. I'm gonna just say it again, check on your people, okay? They may seem like they're all right, they may not be all right, but check on them, okay? But today we're here to celebrate my brother. And I'm gonna just say, when Don came to me and told me that he was considering it, I said, man, you sure you wanna do that? He said, yeah. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you what people tell me, pray about it. Pray about it, talk to your spouse, your family, and if God put it on your heart to do it, then do it. Serving is a very contentious opportunity, let me just say that. You take a lot of flack, a lot of grief. You bear the responsibility for things that ain't your fault. You get the finger pointed at you at times, it's not you. I've had people talk about me, and they don't even know me. And my saying is, don't talk about me until you talk to me. So I'll say to you, my brother, you take that sentiment and I'll share that. You can borrow it. When they say that, you make sure you say that to them. But Don is going to do a great job. If I didn't think he was the man for the job, I wouldn't have supported him. This dude reminds me so much of myself. He's such a humble guy. He'll do anything and everything he can to help anybody. Y'all can see his work. Since he's been in Augusta and been retired, he's worked effortlessly to help people, whether it's military, whether it's single-parent homes, families, whatever. He's been there to help. And he have a passion for helping and serving people. And I told him, you have the passion to serve, and this is an opportunity to do that and help your community. And the one thing you vow to do when you take office is to leave it better than it was when you got in there, you know? And that's the thing. You want to leave it better than it was when you leave. And so I know Don is going to make District 5 proud. He's going to be a great representation for District 5, but more importantly, going to be a great representation for the city of Augusta. And that's what we need. We need faces that people can identify with, but they approachable people that folks can talk to. And that's the one thing I even get to this day, leaving the service today. They say, you going to run again? I say, I don't know, ask God, because he's the only one going to direct that path for me. But I just say, man, I'm proud of you. The city is going to be better because of you, and I look forward to just standing beside you and walking with you down this journey. Congratulations, brother. Thank you.
That's a good-looking suit, too. Next, we'll bring up Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle, Commissioner Super District Number 10.
You know, Corey Johnson and myself served together. We had a good, he's like a brother. I love him. But that's what it takes to be behind this dais, is to work with your fellow colleagues in order to get the mission done. Whatever that goal is set, that's the only way it's going to be done is by working together as a team. You know, I had the great blessing of meeting Don and Tasha during this campaign trail. While they were running, I was actually in a lot of these different neighborhoods because my mission was different. I wanted to see the mayor get a vote. Unfortunately, he did. But all along the way, what I seen about Don and his family, his father-in-law, wherever you seen Don, you seen the family, you seen the team. He has the strongest support of anybody I have ever seen. Gino Brantley and Bo Johnson was the same way. You cannot do this position without having your spouse supporting you. And that's a fact. You got to have the love, the understanding. You're going to have the patience of Job to understand that your husband's being pulled here, being pulled there. And there's going to come a time no different than my wife told me. You're going to have to turn it off when you get to the house because it's hard time. And that's something that's going to be hard to do. But I learned this. on my second time around, my wife did not even know I signed up to run for office. So I know how to keep a secret. I know how to separate it. But one thing from last week, Don and myself have been speaking, oh my Lord, 3 or 4 times a week since the election, the campaign, and listening to Don speak last week when we had the incoming commissioners coming in, Tina Slindak, and as well as Don Clark, we had the outgoing commissioners, Commissioner Sean Franham and Bobby Williams. But Don's statement was powerful. First thing he brought up was the Lord. That was his whole goal. His priorities is right. He goes from God, the family, and then whatever falls below, and I admire that. But listen to the testimonials last night from his family, his friends, his workmates. It was the same statement. It was about God, and especially when your son. That hit home to me. That was powerful. And I love about the family values, the God-fearing family. And I admire that. A lot of people do. But in your speech last week, you didn't use the word I. You used the word we. And that's what it takes behind this dais to get anything accomplished. You're going to hear a lot of noise, Commissioner Clark. You're going to hear people try to separate us. But it's noise is the way I look at it. And I think you're wise enough and old enough and have the understanding to know the difference between right and wrong. You wouldn't have got this far. You wouldn't have all this family and friends here if you didn't. So I do look forward in 2 weeks, getting behind the dais with you, talking agenda items, and we're going to come a long ways together. And I look forward, and I hope the relationship, like Corey Johnson and myself, is going to be the same as you. So when you off the dais or I'm off the dais, there's a love there that won't be broken. And my only advice that I could give, no different than I gave to colleagues of mine as the senior, as well as Alvin Mason, the senior commissioners, is any agenda item that's up there, when in doubt, vote no. That's your safe zone. Don't ever vote on feelings. And welcome aboard, Commissioner Don Clark.
Don's son, Donovan, is currently deployed in Iraq. May our prayers go with him. And his oldest daughter, Shannon, could not attend, but sends her love. No worries, because Destiny is here. Destiny is here, and she will render remarks on behalf of the children. You could see this family is full of good looks. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Destiny.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. First off, I just hope my dad knows how much I love him, because I usually don't do this type of stuff. This is usually his territory, but the things we do for the people we love, right? So today, like he said, I will be speaking on behalf of my brother, who is overseas at the moment, and my sister Shannon, who was not able to make it here today. So after I came to terms that I would be talking today, I immediately texted my brother and asked it if there was anything specific he would want to add, because I am not the best with my words sometimes. My brother described our dad as a light that brings comfort and security to those who have enclosed themselves in dark spaces. And I think we can all second that. My dad possesses a presence that can light up any room he walks in. With that being said, there was this saying that he always used to tell us growing up: fake motivation is also accepted. And I believe he's a true example of this, because even on his dark days, he's still able to shine light on those around him. Excuse me. So as my dad was growing up, he didn't have the best father figure in his life. And I say this not to put his business out there, but just to recognize how he was able to take his loss. How he was able to take his loss and turn it into his gain. He He has been able to pour into those around him, and he has become an advocate for growth and change. Oh my gosh. There are many people just in this room and who have looked up to him, whether it was as a mentor. There are many people in this room who just looked up to him, whether it was as a mentor, who have shared a similar situation to his and see him as a father figure. He is constantly trying to help his community, motivate the youth, and just be there the best way he can for the people that he cares about. My dad sees so much hidden potential in each one of my siblings and I, and even when we're blinded by it ourselves, he never misses the opportunity to tell us so. So I am currently in school to become an occupational therapist, but when I first started college, it was pretty rough, and I wasn't even sure that I wanted to finish school. But my dad never made me feel like I was less than, or if I was dumb for wanting to go a different path, even though that may not have been what he wanted for me. But he still stood by me as I was figuring everything out. With his constant encouragement, reassurance, and faith in me, I eventually was able to find my way again. He has also been setting a major example by being in school himself to obtain his master's. He won't brag about it, but I will, because continuing your education is already difficult enough within itself. And on top of handling responsibilities that come with being commissioner as well, it's a lot to juggle. So, Dad, I hope you are as proud of yourself as that you want us to be proud of ourselves. You have worked so hard to be here and deserve every blessing that you have coming your way. I hope this new opportunity brings you nothing but greatness. I also do want to take a moment to shout out my stepmom, Miss Tasha. So we usually just call her Mom, but for those who don't know, Miss Tasha is my stepmom, Donovan and I's stepmom. But I wanted to put that into this perspective of how much we have accepted her into our lives to the point where my brother and I are able to look at her as a second mother. She does so much for us and treats us as we're her own family, and we couldn't be more grateful to have someone like her in the family in our lives. Some people are able to experience the joy of having a mother, but we are blessed to experience the joy of having two. I'm a strong believer of behind every great man is an even greater woman, and that is definitely her. I appreciate that, the way that you loved, cared, and supported for my dad all these years, and I know you will continue to stick by him for many more years to come. We want you to know that nothing you do goes unnoticed, and we love you and your family so much. I try my best to tell you both how much that you mean to me, but I've said before, I'm not always the best with words, but when I'm not able to speak, I hope you both are still able to feel how much you're loved. Dad, I know I'm growing up fast, and things aren't as easy as teaching me my ABCs or 1, 2, 3 anymore. But I just want you to know I will always and forever be your baby girl, no matter how old I get. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who came out and supported my dad here today, and those who have been supporting him since day one, before he even got into politics. Not only does he appreciate it, but I appreciate it as well as my mom, my siblings, and all of my family. And I can guarantee you guys that my dad will be a great addition to the change that is coming soon. Thank you.
Wow. The love of a daughter. Love of a daughter. At this time, we are beyond excited to have the Honorable Monique Walker. She is the judge of the State Court of Richmond County, Georgia, and she will come up and give the oath of office to the Commissioner-elect, Don Clark. Ma'am.
Good afternoon. As I always say, it's an absolute honor and privilege to stand before you today. But today is an even more special occasion to be able to swear in the person who I call my guy. Don Clark is my guy. The program says that I'm supposed to administer the oath, and I'll do that, but I was also told that I could have a moment of personal privilege. Now, I can't do all this crying and stuff today. I barely have my voice. But before I go any further, I want to say to you that my father is not here today because his voice is worse than mine. But as you know, he wishes you well and would not have missed it otherwise. I can't remember when I met Don. I just remember seeing him, I think, when the Marshal Ramon was running for office near the daycare. And everybody was just running around. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know him. Like, the locals, like, I don't know him. And I don't know what happened, but I was running for office. Don just showed up. I promise you, I didn't have his number. And he showed up again. And I knew Tasha. I always thought Tasha. I said, "You know the pretty girl." But I just didn't know who Don Clark was. But he wasn't gonna be satisfied until we did. Not that he wanted us to know him, but he wanted to be helpful. And he showed up, and he kept showing up, and he keeps showing up. When I was on the campaign trail, I think in 2018, Don was one of the few, and I mean very few, and it's very difficult to do, so nobody should expect everybody to be everywhere all the time about your business, right? Don Clark did not miss a beat. I'm talking about church, evenings, weekday. I felt so bad. I said, "You ask Tasha." She said, "It's all right for you to keep going all these places." He said, "Tasha's fine." And every chance I get, I would always say, "Tasha, thank you so much," because he had a responsibility to her as well. But I find Don to be not just committed. And another thing I want to say is, before I go any further, people talked last night about how good Don is, and he's a leader, and he helps everybody. But he also has a gift. He has some intuition about people. And it might not take him long, but he can tell good people when he sees them. But even if he does not think that you are the greatest, you won't know him. Don's level of emotional intelligence is amazing. He is calm. He just gets it done. "Mo, what about such and such?" I'm like, "Oh, what the?" But he gets it done, and I really appreciate that. But he was a warrior. He stood tall with me, didn't know me the way that he does now, but he thought I was a good person and good for this role. He stood up against the naysayers, and half the time he didn't tell me till after the fact. I said, "Who said what?" He said, "I didn't even tell you." But what I'm trying to say is, when Don is in, he is in. And I can't think of a better trait for a person to have than to be fully committed to those things for which he has decided to pursue and to pursue fully. And I'm gonna tell you how good Don must be. My children, not only are they here, they came on time. My mother is not only here, she came on time because it was Don Clark. They said, "What do you have to do today?" I said, "Don Clark being sworn in." "What time?" I said, 2 o'clock. "Oh, okay, well, we'll be there." And lo and behold, they showed up. That's a miracle all by itself. Anyway, from my family to yours, Don, we are so proud of you. We appreciate you. We have so much respect for you as an individual, as a family man, and how you just jumped right in. Not just for the campaign. The campaign is over. He still calls and checks. I think he has some other tentacles someplace, because everybody here said he's doing all these things, and it's not really possible for one person to do all those things and to do them well. But before I swear you in, I have to give you gifts. So if you would come forward. The first is something that Tasha and I have been talking about for forever. I was finally able to get it done. So that's just a little personal gift if you want to. Don't open it. And the second is, and typically when I swear people in, I give them this journal because they don't really know what they're getting into. It's politics. There's a note here. This is better than since I can't hardly breathe, trying to come up with something. It says, Don, what an absolute pleasure it is to have the opportunity to swear you in as a county commissioner. Little did I know when we first met that you would soon become an elected official as well. What I do know is that you're a true leader in every way. Not only am I grateful for everything that you did for me on my journey to the bench, but I'm also grateful for your friendship and all that you bring to this city. You're smart, kind, committed, bold, courageous, and open to new ideas and opportunities. I admire your willingness to serve others and to go the extra mile to get the job done. These attributes are what true leaders are made of. I wish you nothing but the best in all things. I know that you will serve your district and all of Augusta well in this role. I hope that you will find the pages of this journal, I hope that you will fill the pages of this journal with your thoughts, plans, successes, and lessons learned along the way as you embark upon this journey to make our city a better place. Not only does journaling assist with the reduction of stress and anxiety that you are sure to face, it is also a part of self-care. Journaling helps to improve our mental and emotional health, and it supports self-awareness and problem solving. I hope you'll give it a try. A difference maker is a dedicated person who can make a big impact, even with just a small action or a few words. Someone who improves the lives of others, one who rallies or encourages others to propel themselves forward and bring about change. And you are a difference maker. Thank you for the gift of honesty and friendship, and I can't wait to watch you work. Even my assistant likes Dawn. She sent him a nice bag and everything. And if we are ready for the swearing in, Tasha, Destiny. Y'all know how old I am. You ready? After me, I state your name.
I, Don Clark,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will truly and faithfully
that I will truly and faithfully
perform the duties of the Office of Commissioner
perform the duties of the Office of Commissioner
of Richmond County, Georgia, to the best of my ability.
of Richmond County, Georgia, to the best of my ability.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I'm not the holder
that I'm not the holder
of any unaccounted for public money
of any unaccounted for public money
due this state
due this state
or any political subdivision or authority thereof,
or any political subdivision or any authority thereof.
that I'm not the holder of any office
That I'm not the holder of any office
or trust under the government of the United States
or trust under the government of the United States
or any other state
or any other state
or any foreign state
or any foreign state
which I am prohibited from holding
from which I am prohibited from holding
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
and that I am otherwise qualified
and that I am otherwise qualified
to hold said office
to hold said office
according to the Constitution of the United States
according to the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of Georgia,
and the laws of Georgia,
and that I will support the constitutions
and that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. All right. That's the first oath. And that was its official oath for commissioner. Now we have the loyalty oath. Once again, if you raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Don Clark,
A citizen of Augusta, Georgia,
a citizen of Augusta, Georgia,
and being an employee of Augusta, Georgia,
being an employee of Augusta, Georgia,
a recipient of public funds
a recipient of public funds
for services rendered
for services rendered.
as such employee,
As such employee,
do hereby solemnly swear and affirm
do hereby solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of Georgia.
and the Constitution of Georgia.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen. Presenting you, Commissioner Don Clark. Thank you all so much. We're almost done. You may be seated. He'll sign his oath, I think. You want to sign it first? Like Donnie, go ahead. That's what Donnie said. Oh, my. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to ask Tasha and Destiny to place the official pin of our commission on, I keep calling him Don, on Commissioner Clark. And this pin is what the commissioners wear. And just like it's not quite round like a wedding ring, but it definitely is never ending. And we hope that his commitment and what he brings to Augusta in such a positive way will certainly be never ending.
No good knees over here.
One more time for Commissioner Don.
Mic check, 1, 2. All right, I'm trying to test this voice out. Oh man, this time of year, whenever the weather is changing like this, my kind of voice kind of goes in and out. First of all, let me just go ahead and appropriately set the stage on this. To God be the glory. Without him, you all would not see the man you see here standing today. Through trials and tribulations, God has covered me, has covered my family, but more importantly, has kept his angels of protection consistently encamped around us. No, we good. We good. We good. We cried enough last night for sure. Listen, y'all, it is my immense pleasure and just absolute honor to serve this county, to serve the people, but more importantly, to have the energy, the motivation, and the direction to try to be a part of the change that our community so desires and looks forward to. To all of the elected officials in attendance, good thing about it, I know all of you all. And in some way, some form or fashion, I have relationships in some regard. And I thank you all for your willingness to continue to serve. The sheriff is sick with the flu today, but of course his beautiful wife is here representing for him as well. If he was here, I was definitely going to bring him up here now. Since the election, it's not a day that goes by that somebody doesn't have a full-blown conversation with me. So glad you are going to lead the sheriff's office. Now, Gino is my dude. Gino's a lot bigger than me. Bald head, a little shorter than me, no facial hair. But every day, he and I get the same thing. And it's not just me, he gets it as well. Hey, we're so glad you're gonna be the commissioner of District 5. So it's a running joke that we have. I just told him, if these trouble spots get a little worse, we might have some problems. But listen, to my family, I love you all with all my heart. I'm not going to look over at you all too much because I need to get through this. But I need you all to understand that my family is what got me through some of the worst times in my life. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't say my military service was horrible, because I think that was some of the best times of my doggone life, was serving our country. But you know, family doesn't always understand or embrace that excitement for the things you do. The 3 deployments that I went on, I promise you, it wasn't too much excitement from this group. But those of us that wore the uniform know and understand fully that when it's time to serve, you serve. Destiny holds a special part for me when it comes to these deployments. My first deployment in Afghanistan, and many of you all have heard this, she was 2 days old. And I was able and fortunate to see her born, but I had to depart the warm embrace of holding my baby girl that had just come into the world and go on a deployment to Afghanistan. And while I went through that time, I kept in my mind the fact that you need to get back whole, intact, to the best of your ability to hold your baby girl again. But along with keeping Destiny embraced, my family has always been ever more important to me. My grandmother was a very strong woman. On my mother's side, she bore 11 children. And if you understand about that many children in one house, you understand the connectivity and the closeness that brings. And they ensured that all of us understood that going into our lives and bringing our children into this world as well. So, Augusta-Richmond County, I want you all to understand that I'm coming forward with an openness of inclusivity. I'm coming forward driven with the understanding that I alone will not be able to change anything, but also that the issues and the challenges that we see today didn't happen overnight, and it definitely won't be resolved in that fashion. So I understand that there's going to be some grit, there's going to be some effort, and there's going to have to be some patience and understanding, but more importantly, there's going to have to be some openness for all of us to do what is intended through the definition of community. A consolidated group of people working to thrive, to establish a happy way of life, a beautiful community we all can be proud of, but more importantly, take all of our individual God-given gifts and blend them into this amazing thing that can help propel this amazing city. So I ask for you all to continue to pray for our leaders at every level. But don't forget, because a lot of times we forget how absolutely important our city or local leaderships roles are. President's great, state's great as well, all necessary, but your local leadership, that's where you really see the benefits or otherwise from the decisions that they make. To my colleagues, I look forward to working with each and every one of you. To our outgoing soon-to-be colleague who is kicking and screaming because he is so passionate about continuing to stay here and do the job. Thank you for your legacy that you laid and left for us. The same goes for Commissioner Williams. Regardless of what people say, like Frank Sinatra's song said, he did it his way. And whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, he still stood to the challenge to serve. And we thank him for his service as well. I'll finish off with this. I was raised by my mother. She raised 5 of us. My father left early in my life. But I learned my strength as a man from a woman, and that was my mother. She showed me what it is to sacrifice. She showed me what it is to ensure that you understand that life is not always going to give you roses and all those beautiful things you want. But if you want anything in life, you got to work for it. You got to make sure that when you stand tall, you do so. You throw your shoulders back. You lift your head and you embrace whatever challenge is in front of you. And she showed me that each and every day through the sacrifices that she made to raise and keep us covered every day. And I have the most respect for you, my mother. So as I bring this to a close, a very dear friend of mine passed away who was a part of this campaign. And he was a very special part of this campaign. Edward Charles Shepard was the co-chair of our campaign, along with Rosa Clemens. And Ed passed away suddenly last week. But for those that know that man, you knew he left a mark in this world. And he left a tremendous legacy through his spirit, through who he was as a father, as a husband, as a friend. And he also served his country in a generation many times overlooked and disregarded through their service. And I thank him and everyone from that generation that laid the path forward. But I especially thank him for standing with me, even in spite of the challenges that he had in front of him. He's still committed to stand with me, and I respect him so much. And as his son is standing here in the room today, continue to carry his legacy forward. He put it in you for a reason. Now carry that mantle and keep him proud. And as always, you are my brother to the end. You and your beautiful wife will always be a part of our family. And as I say wife, so I don't get beat up tonight, because I did this on purpose, baby. I waited to the end so that I could absolutely give you your, yes, thank you, to my beautiful wife, Tasha. She is definitely that motivation, that wind beneath my wings that keeps me climbing and pushing and going. But more importantly, she's that sounding board that we all hope to have in life. I love you. I thank you for everything you've done. But more importantly, I thank you for introducing me to this city called Augusta, because I didn't know much about it until Tasha and I met. The daycare that she had introduced me to children of all families, color, creed, or otherwise. And that's what actually got me started in the community, was starting with the daycare kids and creating initiatives for them to benefit from. I love you.
All right.
All right, so again, to all my family, friends, because I am not about to start calling names because I'm gonna miss somebody, but I appreciate you all greatly. I love you all. Man, so my brother-in-law drove in and he made it possible for two of my nieces and great nieces and nephews to come in. And I hold great respect for you to ensure that you made that happen for them to be here and see this. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so District 5, listen, we got work to do. Let's get to work. Let's make sure that everyone understands that together we can thrive in District 5, but more importantly, together as a city and a county, we will continue to move forward and do great things. Thank you all for being here, and thank God for blessing us all.
One more act. Tasha, at this time, the Honorable Don Clark, Commissioner of District 5, will slide his nameplate into the holder of the dais, signifying the official assumption of his duties as an Augusta Commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony.